All right, yogis, we're going to start in a grounding position. So, before we speed up here and create blood flow and heat, you just take a moment, child pose maybe. If you want to sit and meditate or stand, that's fine. Just something to focus inward, connect to your body in a subtle way. You know what to do. Bringing your buttocks to your heels, your forehead on your mat. Just taking a moment to feel that subtle energy, to feel that grounding down aspect. And there's a few things you might add here, maybe a deep breath or three, maybe your mantra, your prayer from your deeper layers of your practice. Or you can begin physical work, massaging your forehead on the ground, actively reaching your arms more forward, pressing your palms down, even hovering your arms, or crawling your arms to the side. Give you a last few moments here. Some yogis call this entering the gateway to the yoga practice, this initial meditative stance. All right, yogis, emphasizing movement for the first part of class here. If you're ready, meet me up in tabletop. With your movement, start your breathing. Optional couple cat cows. I will go through a few options here. Always great. We didn't do, cat cows really on Tuesday, so bringing this back around. Just getting some back stretch as I cat, abdominal chest stretch as I cow, and then maybe contracting more as you get into this. Second tier could be our circling. Third tier could be our child pose and cobra. Think of it like a lighter form of your vinyasa chaturanga. Not really challenging strength or flexibility just yet. I'm circling now. Remember that going from a cobra to a child pose is basically a squat movement pattern, right? It's like we're up on our feet, except the weight's more on the arms and the front body as opposed to the legs and the back body. So it's a really good prep for squatting, bending the knees, shifting forward and back, all right? Okay, take your time here. Don't forget to add wrist stretches if you need. When you're ready, our next area we'll hold position is the down dog. So you take a couple moments to loosen up your feet. I like to shake the head yes and no, let it hang here. So we're just kind of in your comfort zone, nothing too fancy, just to start here. Remember, very important, yogis, to wake up those feet, right? Think about the feet. The feet are just like the hands, right? And the feet get kind of trapped in a cloth leather sack all day and they're kind of squeezed. Imagine we did that with the hands, right? We want to free those feet during our few hours a day and articulate those toes, feel the toes with more awareness than normal. Okay, maybe a few shifts forward to plank and back, maybe even holding a plank and moving. We have a, regular, so you make it your own. There's so many cool things you can do here. And remember, some days you need to drop back down on the knees and take child pose. Remember, yoga means union in many forms, but this union, this connection, this balance of your most demanding athletic self with this most caring almost lazy self, right? You're in the middle. Some days you're leaning. There's this one way, but there's this cartoon in yoga where it's the devil on one shoulder and the angel on one shoulder. And the angel's saying, be kind to yourself, and the devil's saying, go harder. But you're in the middle. All right. So keep going, guys. Walk your feet to the front of your mat. Let's just do a couple rounds of sun salutation, all right? Inhale, we're gonna half lift. So this is waking up the back. Exhale, we forward fold. A little different, I'm gonna round the spine up nice and slow. Reach up. Exhale, hands behind the back. Take a nice inhale, lift the heart. You're moving at your pace. Nice exhale, we forward fold. Arms might swing up and over. Okay, a little different. Inhale, yoga squat. You know, a variation of sun salutation. Plank pose, I'm still moving. Maybe some push-ups on the knees or full push-ups. I'm gonna take it down to the chest for my Cobra 1. That's really waking up my lower back arch. Down dog through plank or table. Take a breath. And on your inhale, look forward, make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. That's the nice sturdy part. Exhale, forward fold. Bending the knees, tucking the chin, slowly rounding the vertebrae up. Inhale, reach your arms up. This is our abdominal tension. Hands behind the back, opposite pinky grip, lift the heart. Forward fold, arms up and over. Yoga squat for a little extra this round. Remember, progressive means I'm adding on to what we've done previously. High plank, optional push-ups or plank work. Cobra 1 again, or Cobra 2. Don't forget to add a little movement in Cobra some days. Down dog. Option to add on here. Down dog, we lift the heels and drop it over to the right. That would be a big side stretch for your left side. Heels back to center, over to the left. Heels back to center, toward the earth, down dog. Inhale, bend knees, look forward, hopper step forward. Inhale, half lift. Just one more round, yogis. Exhale, forward fold. Remember the Jefferson curl. I tuck and round on the way up. That's my rounding cat. I kind of arch, that's my cow. Hands go behind the back, neutralize spine for a moment, lift the heart. Big inhale, then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, yoga squat. Exhale, chaturanga / push-ups or plank hold. Cobra 1, 2, or our third option now for the up dog. Again, I tend to do up dog less often than the previous two options, okay? Down dog, maybe one more round in the side stretching. So you inhale, lift your heels, drop them over to the side. Inhale, heels over to the second side. Back to center, down dog. Continuing on, yogis. Before we step forward, right leg high, open up the hip. This would be a good moment to either circle ankle, knee in space, or do a little bit of core, knee to forehead, leg back and up. You can do this in down dog. You can do this in plank. You can do this in tabletop. Those are all nice ways to do this. And you can also put some positions together in it, right? Where you're moving the whole body more. Last moments here on the first side. Still kind of in our basic yoga land here. You will notice shortly we will start taking on some positions we haven't done in a while. All right. So the warm up tends to be stuff you're more familiar with. Not straining the body in new complex ways. Make sure you start the second leg if you haven't. Doing it in tabletop, a nice bird dog. You're bringing the knee to the elbow into the body would be a more modified variation. Doing it in down dog / plank would be more challenging. Remember, we want to move that leg a lot in range. At that point, it's mobility. There's strength on both antagonist muscles, hip flexor, glute max. All right, it's a really phenomenal warm-up type movement. You're getting your plank longer too, right? You're getting the shoulders, the abs in the back. All right, now I'm gonna keep you going here, yogis. Meet me back in the dog. Inhale, bend knees, look forward. I'm kind of keeping moving today, you can tell, right? Inhale, half lift. Same thing, exhale, forward fold. Take your Jefferson curl here, slowly, round up. Take a moment, maybe wake up your twist a little bit. So after a lot of that heavy work on your shoulders, core, glutes, hip flexors, I love to kind of counter it all with a nice loosening twist. We haven't really been doing this movement a lot, and I tend to do it quite regularly in my own practice. So just to loosen up the core a little bit. Before we start into our lunging sequence, I do want to do a squatting type chair exercise. Now, a little different today, yogis. Again, we tend to do a lot of static squatting. And since we will be preparing for a lunge focused class today, a good way to try to hold the chair, all right? We sit into the chair, and a good way we can either do it is to lift the knee, dropping down, lift the knee. So it's almost like you're moving side to side slightly, going into a one-legged chair a little deeper, coming up. Another really good way, yogis, again, this is a little outside of the realm of classic yoga, but to take a walk in your chair, your hands could be in prayer. I want you to really feel the feet and the knees and the hips and the core all connected. It's almost like I'm doing a micro lunge, right? That's why this is such a good prep. As you can see, I have started to go a little further in my step, forward and back. If I go a little deeper, more challenging, I got to really pull my belly in here and squeeze my pelvic floor. Next krama or level could be a little lateral movement in your chair. So how about we take your chair and make it more dynamic, moving, make it more complex, different ranges and planes of movement. We've done all this stuff before. Another cool one, yogis, is when I take my chair, we're still doing another good two minutes or so in this chair work. This is a cool one. I turn the left toes out. I am now in an open chair. And then I would turn the toes in. We've done this before. I'm actually at the hip joint and the core, turning my chair into a rotational pattern. Not only am I externally rotating, slowly turning toes in, internally rotating. So we did some nice laterals, we did some forward and backs, we were doing some nice transverse, right? Biomechanical strategies and how we're training our body, okay? Last few moments. And if you just want to do squat kriya, that tends to be one of my all-time favorite exercises, so you can't go wrong there. Just giving you a little something different, yogis. Yeah, nice. Add some jumping jacks and jump rope. I love seeing that, yogis. Ideally, I'd have a fast twitch class every week for you guys, where we would really move faster than we normally do. Please take your time. Meet me up in standing position. It looks like a lot of you are done. Just take a quick meditative moment. We are still with movement, yogis, all right? I want you to stay focused with movement for a few more minutes. We'll be holding postures pretty much the whole second half of class, okay? First, we are shifting into second tier lunging style practice. I want you to see lunge as a group of exercise that's very fundamental, that many exercise programs are based off of, even yoga, right? All of our warriors and styles. Please step to the front of our mat. Our first style of lunge is very simple. It is a step back with a posterior activation of the upper body as well. Movement, please, nice and basic. Left foot's gonna go back. You're gonna feel it. Now, what I mean here is the upper body's also going back. I wanna tuck my tailbone. If I want a little bit more, I can double lunge. More is holding longer. Exhale, I want skillful movement. Notice my arms pull back, my tailbone tucks, my chest lifts. Inhale, second leg. So this is the step back, yogis, okay? Not the step forward like we tend to do in yoga constantly. Right foot forward, inhale, left leg back. I want quality body awareness, mind to body, yoga, okay? We can really make any exercise yoga by setting that intention of focusing inward, connecting to the body on more subtle layers, physically, mentally, energetically. So what I'm doing here, yogis, is alternating. Sometimes we do it with the back knee down and we're down here, right? In case you need modification, inhale, there's your back bend, exhale. In case, right? This is another variation of a similar movement pattern. I'd like to see 10 to 15 per side. Think of lunging as almost walking, right? Taking that plane of movement further, putting a little bit more tension and range of motion on those muscles. I love lunging, yogis. You know, I tend to do it a peak lunge day per week for me, whether it's jumping lunges, fancy complex lunges, or weight-bearing resisted lunges, all right? Please meet me in the standing position, all right? Second round. This one is a little different. Notice I step to the back of my mat. We will start to take on different planes of motion right after this. Second round of lunging is the step forward with the hinge, the back line tension, shortening of the front line. Watch me here. I'll keep my hands on my hips. Little different. The left foot's gonna step forward. Now watch the chest. Hinge, right? You guys are experts at this. Just like we do low chairs, Dekasana, low lunging. We're here. Chest up, push off, here. Again, don't step too far if you're new. Try to keep the knee more over the foot. I hinge. Okay? So we are doing something a little different today, yogis. Okay? Remember, if I have my hands behind my head, it's more. Right? If I go deeper, it's more. I'm trying not to use too much momentum. I'm trying not to slam my foot into the floor. I'm trying to move with grace, skill. Again, it's probably about 10, give or take, per side. If you want to do it different and hold a lunge like we tend to do normally in yoga, that's fine. I would like today to be a lunge-focused day. Okay? A couple more rounds. Again, this is body weight, getting lower, many variations here, adding twists. If it's too easy, pulsing down in your lunge. So yogis, those are both emphasis on stepping back, leaning back, emphasis on stepping forward, leaning forward. We're doing good. Let's keep it going now, right? Let's slowly stand up, please, and turn open to the side. When I see a lot of you resting, I will tend to move forward. I am gonna now open my legs. Now, I want you to not go as deep on this one, all right? This is lateral lunging. So less is more here probably, okay? I'm gonna bend the knees almost into my goddess style sumo stance. And you know what it is. I start to laterally move my body over the left leg. Now, do I keep my foot sealed? Do I flex my foot forward? Well, all those actually. How about you pick a comfortable version to start? I'm gonna go down into the side. Now, more challenging, guys, we're picking it up a little bit here, is to repeat a side, right? Now, some things to be aware of, yogis. I need some core integrity, belly in and pelvic floor up. I want my shoulders back and down, my head not leaning too far forward. If I repeat the side, more strengthening. If I go opposites, little bit less strengthening maybe, okay? Lateral lunging. How many do we do? Well, the ultimate question of the universe. We use more reps to fire muscles better, which builds strength quicker and more. On good days, more reps, maybe more depth. See how I'm doing this one now, where the hips go dropping below the knee. Notice the knee doesn't buckle in. It's kind of over the toes. See that one? I bring the hip a little bit above the knee and then a little bit below the knee. Last few tries. Like I love squats and hinges, yogis, like this, the fundamentals, really exercises based off those two. Like it's really tough. People are always like, if I had to do one exercise, what would it be? You know, it's really tough. It's between the squats, which tend to be my favorite currently, deadlifts, stairs, and lunges. It's those big four, you know, it's hard to beat them, okay? You're doing both sides, you're shaking it out in between, okay? Let's keep it going. You know I'm gonna hit your arms, but we're staying with the repetitive stimulation of the legs, okay? Courtesy lunging. Now, this is big transverse, all right? That is considered lateral, even though there's properties. I want to show you what this lunge looks like from this angle and then the second angle, okay? Watch me here. I'm in the first position at the front of my mat. It's like I'm doing the first position where I step back, but I'm adding, watch me here. My right leg steps back and across behind. Now the trick is this knee, yogis. You see this? I want that knee more active in tension over the foot. I bend, I step forward, neutral, left foot back, over to the right. Notice that knee, it was here. I actively squeeze my thighs together. Boom, okay? Really nice exercise, guys. Try to pull the belly in. Notice my chest doesn't really go forward, all right? So I'm starting in the upright, step back again. I'm stepping behind across. Again, for more, we pulse. For more, we repeat the leg. I'm stepping back. You can see my neutral body facing you. This angle shows the courtesy lunge well. From another angle, guys, more difficult to see. I am stepping across. Notice my knee does go forward a little bit, but not too far forward. Okay, it's not a split squat, which is totally, you know, fine. Split lunge. Last few, guys. I'm only going to bring you through one of these rounds each, right? It would be nice to do 3 rounds of each, but your legs would be nice and sore, right? So instead, we're doing some different varieties of lunge. So you have some tools in your tool belt. When you're doing some strength training, you can add some variety. Always good to do variety for the body on your good days of exercise, okay? So what we're gonna do, yogis, we're gonna kind of put them together. What does that mean? That means we're gonna do a more dynamic way. Watch me here. I would like you at the middle of your mat-ish. Now we're gonna explore. Watch me, please. Right foot forward, step back, watch. Right foot wide, lateral, watch. Step back lunge, watch. Courtesy lunge. That is all the same side, all 4 parts. Now, I can add more. Watch me here. Angled. We didn't do that one. So I'm between lateral and frontal. Now I'm in lateral. Watch. I go back to the side, right? We didn't break that part down. I go back. I go courtesy across. Then I go back to the side, okay? I want you to explore from another angle. I go forward. I go diagonal. I go lateral, okay? I go back, open. I go back linear. I go back across. I go front across. Okay, so I'm just giving you something a little different, yogis. Vinyasa will be more classic style yoga this Saturday, okay? But let's be open-minded. Too often people are getting too attached towards certain styles of movement patterns. And this is really a very intelligent, awesome way to exercise, right? A lot of times in life, that foot has to go like that. That foot has to go like that, okay? Where we have to step and stabilize, and you might slip and boom. Really good. So I want to give you one more minute here. I see some of you are doing it there. And you know, we do it like this too. If you wanted to do some fast twitch, I will show you my feet just so you can see the feet. You know, we do it like this, right? Lateral lunge, lateral lunge. Watch me here. I turn, look, forward lunge, back lunge, forward lunge, lateral lunge. Look at this one. Watch, I'm angled now. Forward left, back left, forward left, back left. Let's train these legs, yogis, to be very capable, okay? Back left, forward right, back left. Okay, courtesy. Right? So you can speed it up a little bit where you're kind of dancing. You're moving, breathing. You know, the body is this magical, you know, machine that is so capable, and it's almost unfathomable how capable of our body is and strong. And we want to remember that when we're training, okay? The Ashtanga Yoga series, which a lot of our yoga is based on, is excellent, but the yogis were never obsessed with body, right? The yogis weren't obsessed with body, so we're taking some pieces from the people who really do obsess over the body, the fitness people. So yogis, we're about halfway done with class already. We did squat, kind of a couple minutes in squat world into lunge land. We're doing really good. Now, I do want to focus on some balance. I'm going to finish our standing yoga up today with balance, okay? Now, I will meet you in standing. I'm going to think a little bit more static, but I am going to think spiral line here. If there's other parts you want to do in your balance, you know that's fine with me. To start, I want to mix in that balance we haven't done in a while. You step to the front of your mat, still in a lunge pattern, left foot back. Instead of holding the lunge though, watch me here, the back heel lifts, watch the front foot, arms go up, front foot lifts. Look at this balance, yogis. The front foot, the only thing down is the heel. The back heel lifting high as possible. And I'm trying to find my center there. Try it, please. Breathe. Belly's in. Pelvic floor is up. Shoulders relax a little bit. Good posture. So we're balancing on the front heel and the back toes, okay? Very simple. We're just gonna switch sides after about a minute hold, just like a plank, working on holding, maybe failing, maybe entering again. So all at your level, yogis, all right? So in Zoom, you really gotta work on pushing yourself, okay? Second side. So remember, why are we doing this? What's the reason? You know, I love the reason why. Because think about your walking all day. Look, when you're walking, you tend to go like this. Look, every step, you go like this. Heel, back heel lifts, outer edge, big toe, across the mound, right? You didn't realize you're in this position 10,000 times a day, right? That heel hits. And for a moment, you're balancing there. Now you're keeping your momentum so the balance isn't focused, but you're really taking that position countless times every day of your life. All right, I will meet you in the standing position. Second balance, I want to do our spiral line. This is a tricky one, yogis. I prepped you with the squatting and the courtesy lunging. It's this one here, guys. The left knee lifts, the right knee does bend. My standing knee is bent, guys. I want to lift the left knee and feel that right glute. We worked with this a lot on Tuesday. Let's add, watch me here. I'm going to turn to the right now. My core, hips, and leg go to the right actively. I'm not jerking the body. I am turning. My right leg doesn't pivot or slide. I turn the chest, hip, arms, open, knee to the left. Pause. I turn across. Okay? I turn open. Now, how many do I do? Well, the goal is to stimulate muscle well until it starts to fatigue. So reps are context, yogis. You know, you can do this in a way where you do 3 reps and it's really difficult. Or you can do 30 reps where you're moving a little bit faster, but that's a little more risky, okay? I'd like you to shake it out, maybe something like this, you know what to do. We're doing movement, but it's still kind of stiff, okay, and sticky. You know what to do. Boom, we're gonna lift our second side for our balance here, over across. My first one I did slow down. We've done this a couple times before. Pelvic floor up, belly and thigh squeezing, chest lifting. And then I'm gonna open up. And I'm gonna close it. And I'm gonna open up. A little bit more of the back body here, right? The outer hips. Then I'm gonna squeeze it, a little bit more of the inner thighs. I love this exercise. I did it 2 nights ago, a couple rounds. And I was planning on having an easy exercise day. And I do all this kind of lighter stuff. And then, a half hour later, like think of it like a really long warm up, I'm feeling really good. And I had one of the best strong exercise days I had in a while. So, some of these moves we're doing can really set you up for growth in the bigger exercises we mentioned earlier, squats and lunges, okay? Let's keep going. Now, I do want to do the toe balance today, yogis. So we did this one, that's a toe balance, okay? Options here, guys. I want you to shake it out. We're almost done with standing yoga. Stay focused, all right? Because we're going to hit those arms with some fun options for a Thursday Hatha yoga. Okay, we're going to be back in kind of your normal zone in just a few moments. So this is called toe squatting, quad squatting. It's a really nice one. Just be easy and go slow. I want less movement maybe here. I like to bring the arms forward. Now, to start this, we do some calf raises, right? That would be like my most beginner. If I was working with somebody for the first time, they don't exercise much, we're going to start here. We're going to lift those heels. Now, I want to feel my toes. As I lift, picture your toes as you're lifting, gripping into the floor. So as I'm strengthening the foot, arch, and the ankle and this calf, my toes are involved actively, intentionally. So as I lift, I'm gripping the toes. Okay? My second tier might be lifting your heels a little bit and walking around like that. So when I work with people, sometimes I say, on your day off, I want you to remember this. Set an alarm on your phone. I want you to walk around with your heels lifted, maybe once a day, okay? We're strengthening those ankles, yogis. It's very important. Okay? Third tier, I would start to lift my heels. I would either do one-legged calf raises, right? Or a one-legged hold against the wall here. Or I would start the toe squatting, okay? Arms are gonna reach forward. Notice, yogis, my upper body does not go forward. Up. Okay, my chest stays neutral vertical, shoulders over hips. What is happening here, as I'm squatting, my knees go forward, my heels lift higher. Now remember, I tend to make stuff look easy. I also tend to take risk. Just some food for thought as the instructor, be careful trying to do exactly how I do it. I exercise for a living. That is very different from somebody who has a living and exercises on the side. I literally exercise pretty much all day, every day, right? So some food for thought. Risky to try to do what the pros do, right? So this is called toe squatting. Notice I did not drop my butt to my heels. I kept it in strength. I don't want to drop out passively, yogis. So we are still in our toe balance world. Last moments here, please. You know, basics, yogis, you can't go wrong with just doing 2 to 3 sets of calf raises, because I'm trying to give you a little extra time, right? Doing yoga where we're only balancing like some body weight here, you know, here, we need those heels lifted to strengthen the foot, the ankle more, because balance tends to be very laterally dominant. Yogis are really good at like lateral balance because we're always here, right? So the way we really get the front and the back going is with the calf raise or the toe balance style. There's other ways, but we don't get to do it as much, where we're kind of like, you know, doing stuff like this more. We did some of that earlier. Usually once, twice a week, I will focus on my ankles, my toes, my feet, okay? Yogis, I think for time's sake, we should call our standing yoga there. A nice heavy dose, couple rounds of squatting, quite a few rounds of lunging. You're gonna see all your triangle style exercises and half moons on Saturday. Ashtanga based vinyasa this Saturday, all right? So I'm gonna make the way to the front of the mat. I wanna reset the body with a nice kind of front back body lengthen shortener. Sun salutation, right? So you step to the front of your mat, inhale those arms up, exhale the forward fold. Inhale the half lift, we'll take the vinyasa, okay? Take a moment, meet back in down dog. So for a lack of a better term, we're just gonna shift into like weight-bearing arms. Your arms weren't taking much weight, they were not a focus. We worked the legs a lot, let's give them a little break, and now let's shift into the upper body. When you're studying the exercise, the shoulder press, the bench press are two of our greatest upper body builders. How about we mimic those today, right? So how can we do that? Handstand hold at the wall and or plank hold. I am getting a little bit more into general yoga now. Side plank hold. You cannot go wrong doing side plank a few times a week. It is a stream builder. If you'd like to try some different things, we do have the dolphin, forearm balance, handstand, or down dog hold are our basic overheads. If you want to try something different, I break this out once in a while. It looks like this. Notice that the head kind of runs in line with the arms. It is called a shoulder push-up, okay? I'm going to bend my elbows. I'm staying in down dog, core and legs. Bringing my head toward my hands. So if my head were to tap the floor, which it's not, it's kind of tapping between the heel of the hand. I love this push-up style, yogis. It's not really done a lot, even in fitness. But if people who like to do body weight training, yogis, it's a really cool exercise. You know, we always hold the straight arm above our head, yogis. Even if we do the bent arm dog, it's still not going to be the shoulder as much, right? I really like to get here and get into that pump. You can always do it on one leg, right? Because a lot of the yogis do it, fitness people do it like that. This push-up will be high in the shoulder more, okay? When in doubt, hold down dog. Do some handstand hops. Do your forearm balance, your handstand holds at the wall. This is inversion time. Handstand hold is supreme upper shoulder, right? And that's my intention currently. I'm picking a couple muscle groups via intention, focusing there. Remember, side plank tends to be a little bit more back of the shoulder, just in case you're doing that. Plank in the front, down dog, plank push-ups, dolphin, they're a little bit more front shoulder, right? So they are different. You're gonna take a quick rest. Now, what we're doing here is a good few sets of, let's call it arm circuit. You're taking a little rest, right? What's another thing we kind of don't do often? Something really emphasizing the back of the arm. We have that muscle called the tricep, right? So you can kind of see it on me there, I think, right here. That's one head. Here's the other head. Here's the other head. Three-head muscle, tri, right? One of our best strategies for targeting that muscle, I know a lot of people want to get strong there, really good muscle for yoga and upper body strength, it's the tricep push-up. I like to break these out once every few months, and it's called the diamond push-up in fitness, right? Where my hands are going to come close together underneath my chest. This is going to make your arms really strong, yogis, because when we're doing push-ups, the shoulder and the chest will dominate. So here I can really go into the arm, okay? You don't need to touch your index finger. You can keep your fingers kind of separate a little bit there. Don't force that on the body. Now again, doing this on the knees is tough too, right? I know people who do a lot of push-ups. You get them here, they look like a newbie, right? So I'm gonna go about halfway down, like beginner chaturanga. My elbows are not obsessively hugging in, but they're also not way out. Now, the goal is to try to bring this into your tricep. So just like a push-up, I would go forward and down. The full exercise is full range, yogis. I know yogis say go halfway down, but that is a beginner cue. That is for people who are not strong and are new to it. It is not risky to bring your hands here. That is actually eventually much better for strength. I pretty much always only do full range, tapping my chest in chaturanga. Right? Because all the yogis are so weak here because it's never developed. All right? So I am suggesting on a good day, 2 challenge range of motion with muscular intention and quality activation. You're not jerking the body or using momentum, okay? Take last moments here in our second round. So we will shift into, now, you can't go wrong doing another set of your shoulder push-ups, your tricep push-ups, okay? Really, that's amazing. Some other options include adding a pull. I'm just switching it up a little bit here, okay? So what do we do with the pull? Any version of push-up can be added. I would widen my feet. I would do my push-up, I'd shift my weight to one leg, I'd pull one arm back. You know, they do it with the weight yogis. You'd have 2 weights in your fists. You'd push up, pull one, push up, pull one, right? It's a really cool fitness thing that we don't do in yoga, right? It's called push-pull pattern in your arms. They work like this in your leg, and then we're linear here. Another fun thing to do is just challenge the complexity. I step the hand wide, I step it in. I step the hand forward, I step it back. Think about moving in a way that you don't in your plank, if you're up for it today. Too often, yogis, again, get kind of almost, you know, extremely biased because of some yoga they learned in their past. They think for some reason they shouldn't be breaking those movement patterns. You have to be careful, yogis. Some teachers are so good, they will train you to not question what you do. In my opinion, we must question it all always, right? So we are, in a sense, doing that today, trying to do some different things. I've often said this, and I am not making this up. I have fitness friends and I have yoga friends. And regarding exercise, the yogis, my friends in yoga are almost more closed-minded in fitness approach than my fitness friends want to try every movement pattern they can experience. My yoga friends want to stay in a few exercises for some reason because they were taught that that is yoga. So many master yoga teachers teach many different things, yogis. One of these days on my list coming up, we're going to actually do what's called animal primal style flow. It is very different than what we tend to do also, okay? Listen, guys, we are here in the end. Now, we are moving toward core. I will suggest making your way to your butt. Now, I'm going to stay with arms, really, right? So low asana would be a phenomenal practice. We are shifting toward core. All the planks are core. You know, it's all core, right? If you wanted to try, we have a few fun options for you today. Remember, this is called low asana. This is about as classic as yoga gets, by the way. Arms pressed down, butt lifts, feet lift. That's one option. Another option to go stronger is this one. It's going to be super arms yogis pressing down. I'm allowing you to make your choices, right? Another option, hands behind you more. So instead of pressing down, you still press down, but more back to the plank, reverse. So I mentioned side plank, push-ups and high plank. We are doing that other side of the coin, the reverse plank today. Remember, my beginner is more like this. This is definitely a beginner pose, okay? Our up table. You know me, I love that exercise, okay? Putting some together, watch me here. Last demo, then you get to go. You're almost done with strength, stay focused. Up, watch me here. Butt back, right foot hovers. Up table. Slowly, feeling my arms in the grip. 1 foot hovers. Okay, it's still too easy. Up table, keeping that weight in the arms. Butt back, both feet hover. Okay? So I can put these two together in a complex dynamic. How do you want to work your fourth final round, maybe, of arm exercise? Okay? Remember you did some chaturangas earlier? Remember, strength is first, yogis. All right. I even want to remind you, as we do our up table, what's stretching? The front of the shoulder. It's only your body weight, and it's not all of it. It's weird, but I like to challenge your thought process. Plank is a stretch. Plank is a stretch for the muscles that relax in it, right? Not many people engage their back body in plank. All those muscles are softening. That's a stretch response. It's weird to think of such a strengthening active position as a stretch, but it's body weight. What has been proven to activate muscles really well is weight, and we have minimal weight in plank, right? So it's weird to think that all yoga is a stretch, okay? This is last active opportunity. I have 9:50. We will take last couple moments. If you got one more round of back bend, I will not do the bridge. We did so many, bridge rounds on Tuesday. We will also revisit that space on Saturday. If there's one more strong posterior chain exercise, bridge, wheel, up table, reverse plank, those are all great options. We want to keep strengthening our back body consistently. In exercise, we have all these different types of what's called splits. You've heard people say, I'm going to go into the gym, I'm going to work legs today. And then tomorrow I'm going to work chest. And then the next day I'm going to work back, right? And then I'm going to work core. So they have these, what we call splits, how you split up your exercise in a schedule. I tend to do front and back line. So I will do my shins, my quads, my hip flexors, my abs, my chest. Next day I will do posterior chains, hamstrings, glutes, calves, bottom of the feet, back, right? That's how I like to work out. Third day is like twists and laterals. I like to work on chains of the body, personally, right now. We must remember to keep strengthening posterior chain because it's very easy to get trapped in front body, all right? So I'm gonna start moving forward, and I am going to shift into stretching zone, guys. Kind of getting into things like our hamstrings, groin, outer hips, okay? I'm going to widen the legs here. I'm just going to move forward. I am shifting into the release part of class. Probably good to get our straddle going here today, all right? One of my all-time kind of favorite stretches here, the straddle. We'll take about a minute and a half only. There are some options, just going down the center. Adding a side stretch could be nice today, guys. It wasn't like a super spinal mobility day. It was lunges into that sturdy balance. Most of our movement was in the legs and the hips. A lot less kind of range of motion training in the core today, right? So I'm here, maybe I'm here in the twist. Last moments here in the first stretch. Please take your time. I will move forward. Seated figure four. The same position we do on our back all the time. This stretches for our outer hips. My hands will reach behind me, bearing a little weight. My right ankle atop my left knee. Here we go. This is that figure four. Sometimes you would take into your up table here, but taking it in stretch as opposed to lifting the hips up. I bring the chest forward toward the shin. I flex that foot, push the right knee away. Seated figure four. I like to add a little bit of neck stretching and movement here with the shoulders being back and down, the chest lifting. I can angle my neck forward, side, back, and get a little neck stretching here. Okay, I will take this right into a twist. These two are beautiful together. Left foot forward, right heel outside left knee, left arm maybe up, and I turn right. Really not a big twisty class either today, yogis. You're gonna see all that classic kind of style this Saturday in our strong Ashtanga yoga. Okay, second side, releasing, shaking it out, please. Left heel outside, on top of the right knee, excuse me, and then I'm here in the seated figure four. Notice my left knee wants to come toward the shoulder. I want to actually at the hip bring the left knee away, right? Sitting up nice and tall. Again, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. Maybe move the neck slightly, very slow. At your pace, again, these two go wonderful together, hip rotation and spinal rotation. That's how the body tends to work all day. Left foot outside the right knee and right arm outside the left. Really nice stretch sequence, right? Hamstrings, inner thighs, side bend. Outer hip, spinal twist. Glutes, really good, right? To end class today, I'd like to suggest a frontline stretch, restorative bridge, restorative fish, right? So wasn't a lot of chaturangas today. If you don't ever get to do this pose, guys, we tend to do it on like Sundays. I know a lot of you don't get to make it to that one. So coming into this nice front neck chest opener, really good, guys. Another really nice one, if you don't ever get to do our inversions, not too many leg lifts today in the dog, getting that restorative bridge, taking some breaths here. Just to be clear, these are two different demonstrations. I don't have the block under my upper back anymore, right? The legs are up in the air. What's one nice pose you want to end class with? Don't forget, this is full restorative bridge. I did move that block quite more lower toward my tailbone, my lower buttocks, and I even crawl my shoulders away. It's going to be a very big hip flexor stretch of posterior tilt, yogis. I don't want my back to arch. I actually want the opposite.
I tend to omit the restorative style positions from our core Hatha and Vinyasa. So if you're not making it on Sundays ever, you miss our you miss some things that I tend to save for that day. So your block poses, your legs up the wall, your even like strap stretching, light little hip rotations and shoulder rotation. Always good to add those things on these days here in the end. Exercise for another 15 minutes after our class ends and doing some of that more release style work. It's totally fine to do some release work after strengthening. There is some evidence that, doing cardio and or stretching after strengthening can be counterproductive if strength is your goal. But there is also some evidence it can, doing some cardio and stretching after can maybe reduce soreness and or injury potential. So there's mixed information there. I'm a big fan of just feeling the body, and sometimes I stretch during, in between things, before as a warm up or after as a cool down. There's mixed evidence out there, yogis, and you got to be open to just adapting and listening to your body. All right, Yogi. So you know what to do. It's kind of like our final release for the mind. You're welcome to stay on your block if it's not too overstimulating. But our final objective here is to practice that neural calming. Neuroregulation is the one modern term being used. Non-sleep deep rest, conscious relaxation, minimalist meditation, parasympathetic response. All could be called this the ending meditation. Remember, we grounded to start, we return to the foundation, the presence, the self awareness, the subtle, internal. So it's a comfortable position, a deep breath or two, and then you settle into trance, stillness, and quiet. Seal in your practice today.